Bit of a strange video. I just finished playing the first chapter of the higurashi visual novel onikakushi. Uh, you'll notice the comments on this video are turned off because I'm trying to avoid any spoilers. That's right. Even though Higurashi, the first visual novel, came out in like 2002 and the anime is like incredibly popular, I have somehow never been spoiled on Higurashi. I never cared about it because I thought the anime would be bad. I've watched the original anime, not the 2021, but I've watched the first 9 episodes of the original anime, which is about the Onikakushi arc. So I'm now caught up in the visual novels to where I was in the anime. There is the only real difference between, like, plot wise between the anime and the visual novels is that in the anime they go and investigate a shed and find torture weapons there. Oh yeah, this is spoilers. Fuck, that happens pretty early in the anime, so it's not too bad. But anyway, this is spoilers. So if you plan on watching the currently airing Higurashi series blind or playing the visual novels or whatever, don't I'm spoiling the first arc here. So yeah, although the first arc is really just a prologue, so I'm not spoiling too much. And yeah, this video is mainly just for me for two main reasons. The first reason is Higurashi is fucking long. It's like 8 books, I think, yeah, in the main storyline. Or 8 visual novels, right? And each of them they get longer as they go. So as far as I'm aware from my googling, it should be about 100 hours of reading in total, which is pretty fucking long. And so the reason I'm worried is that half of that is the question arc, and half of that is there's 4 books in the question arc, 4 books in the answer arc, right? And I'm worried that I'm gonna be like fucking fed up by the time I'm on like book 3, and I'll be like, just tell me what the fuck is happening, and I'll just give up because I'm like, I don't want to read a whole other 3 fucking books just to figure out, just to get to that, finally get the first book in the answer arc. Like, yeah, bit. That's why I'm worried, and so I'm making this video to hopefully try and persuade myself that, like, oh yeah, well, if I'm doing a YouTube series where I'm talking about my blind experience with each Higurashi arc, then I will have to keep going and I won't give up before I get to the answers because it'll be good content to watch me be like, whoa, so that's what happened. That's the first reason I'm making this. The second reason I'm making this is just as like to get my thoughts in order, because obviously it's Higurashi, a lot of stuff is going on. Now, the first thing I want to mention is Onikakushi is a prologue, really. It's like a prologue to the whole storyline. There is definitely not enough information to figure out anything that is happening. That you cannot make any reasonable guess as to what's like the actual answers, because it's like an eighth into the story. However, I can make some reasonable deductions. The first deduction I've made is that it's not Oyashi Osama's curse. It's just not. And here's why. Because imagine reading 8 fucking books, 100 hours of visual novel, and you get to the end and they're like, actually, it was magic the whole time. It would be the worst ending of a story in the universe. Now, sometimes this does happen, but normally it's almost never it was just magic. It's always something deeper than that. Like there has to be some deeper shit than, oh, it's just Oyashi Osama's curse that was following them around for leaving the village or joining the village or whatever. That shit's bullshit. There's no way that's the true answer. It's literally, I can 100% guarantee you right now that that is not how the story ends. Um, so I know that much. So leaving out that possibility, and it's not, there may be something supernatural, but the solution is not rooted in the supernatural. And this is a problem with storytelling mystery mediums, is that the ending to a mystery always has to be something that would work well in a story. Like, if this was real life, well, I guess not because it's supernatural, but like, one of the problems with storytelling is that you can often narrow down mysteries by thinking about what would be a good story. They wouldn't make a mystery that is just a really good mystery that you couldn't figure out, but then the ending isn't satisfying, even if it was a good mystery. Because to be a really good mystery in a story, it has to have a satisfying ending. Pathos. It has to have pathos, right? It has to have the moment where it all comes together. Which supernatural is never good. That's why there's never any supernatural shit in the Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes books. You know, like you got like Hounds of the Baskerville. Yeah, like you're like, is it supernatural? Is it? Are they really giant dogs? But you know it's not because it isn't. Right. That's the whole point of a mystery. I can pretty much I can be pretty certain, despite never having even read any Umineko media at all, I can guarantee you that witches are not real. So the question really is not, is it people or is it Oyashiro-sama's curse? I think that's what the book wants you to be asking, but I don't believe it. I can tell you that the real mystery is how much is real and how much is delusions and lies. That's the real mystery, is what of what we've read is actually happened. What of what we read was either the villagers lying or the main character being delusional. How much is being hidden from us? That's the real mystery. Not just the villagers, but also Oishi-san, I believe is his name. I'm very bad with names. The detective guy, right? How much is his lies as well? Because we know we can't trust him either. We know for a fact we can't trust him. No one in this story is reliable. Everyone has a billion backstory elements that we don't know about. Is Reina's backstory real? Or was the detective lying about that? Or embellishing certain parts? Well, I can tell you my theory, but I can tell you my thoughts. But the real true answer is there's no way to know at this point because we just don't have enough information. Of course, it's the point. But my theory is a little bit of both. That like every single character of the main cast is gonna get a fleshed out backstory. I know this because I know that the guy who made Higurashi, Ryushio7, is that his name? Was inspired by Key visual novels and the formula that Key uses. And the formula that Key uses demands that every character has a fleshed out and tragic backstory. So I can guarantee you that at some point we're going to get the epic moments where everyone's backstory is revealed. But in Key visual novels, that moment is like, it's supposed to make you cry. It never does for me because I don't like Key's writing style. Not that I've ever read a visual novel by them. I've only seen the anime adaptations. One day I will read like a visual novel, key visual novel, but and see if it works there. But I digress. In Higurashi, it's gonna be scary instead of crying. You're gonna be scared. That's the point, at least. So I can't really make many guesses because I don't have the information right now, but if I was to guess, I would say Reina probably had some fucked up shit happen to her. I would say all of them probably had some fucked up shit happen to them. I can imagine Mion, like, having some crazy backstory. But I also think the main character, is his name Taichi? Or am I getting that confused with him? What's his fucking name? I'm stupid. I literally it's still open on my computer and I just finished it and that's whatever. I can guarantee you that there's shit going on with him that we don't know. Him and his family. Because like, oh, my family suddenly moved out to Hinamizawa because my dad's an artist and they suddenly have to go to Tokyo for a bit. That's sus. Vote him, right? If this was Among Us, vote him. Right? Sus. Instant sus, right? He vented. I can guarantee you he didn't come to Hinamizawa. He vented. Right? Yeah, there's some crazy shit going on with his family, right? There's some crazy shit going on with him. I suspect that he has like you know how he talks about like, oh, his school days before where, well, his friends didn't really care about him, they were just sort of cramming for exams, but at least it was peace, like there was no murder, right? I think that's all nonsense. I think he's delusional. I think in reality he had some shit that forced his family to move to Hinamizawa. Maybe something similar to Reina's incident, or perhaps this is one theory, that instead of that actually when what Oishi-san said about Reina was actually about him, and like uh he's somehow what's the word, projecting it on Reina when actually it's what he did. That's just a crackpot theory. I don't know if that's true, because it would also fit Reina's character to be like that. But I know he's completely delusional. I can tell you that the needle that was in the mochi that wasn't real. That was a hallucination. I'm 90% sure about that. That was a hallucination. Because when he confronts Mion about it, she's like, it was just a little prank. I assume that what actually happened is they put some wasabi in one of the mochi, and that was the joke. I think a lot of the shit that was seen with like Reina and Mion acting crazy, that was delusional. And what actually happened is he's the main villain of the story. Like, he came into the town and just started attacking people and going crazy and shit because of I don't think I don't even know if you can really say that the town was even against him. Like, what actually happened to prove that? Nothing, really. Nothing actually really happened that can't be written off as delusion. Like, the thing where he was, basically what it seems to me that happened is this guy came to town, then some dodgy guy, police guy, started talking to him and put a bunch of ideas in his head. He's already mentally unstable. He goes on in unhinged, right? He starts, and then he attacks his friends, and then this is the mysterious bit. But then he dies mysteriously by clawing his own throat out. That's the mysterious bit. That doesn't solve the previous murders in Hinamizawa. And it doesn't solve his suicide, and it doesn't solve who is the director, right? Doesn't solve who is the director. And there's other stuff it doesn't solve. But I think a lot of the hostility towards him from Reina and Mion and stuff, I think that was all delusion. Maybe not all delusion, but I think it was a lot of delusion. I don't think most of it was real. The tanks are flooded. It means you'll get little bits. That's how you do it. You blow in it, and then all the liquid comes out the side, and you wipe it off. Hell yeah, get that nicotine in me. Get my brain thinking. Yeah, I know you guys are fucking trolls. I know there's some trolls in some epic trollolols who will try and spoil me if I leave the comments on. They think it's funny, which it is pretty funny, but I'm thinking one step ahead. So my current questions really would be, so when Taichi was, I'm assuming his name's Taichi, was at the dam, no, at the like construction site, and the two people started running at him and attacked him. They disappeared, then Reina found him, and somehow he was brought back to his house. I think the entire attack with Reina and Mion, where they tried to attack him with a needle, was a hallucination. He just went nuts and killed them. But I don't know what happened to him before that. I don't know that bit. I think Reina genuinely was... I think... Because the thing about it is, if I remember correctly, the original release of Higurashi, because I'm playing I'm playing the manga game release. But the original release of Higurashi, I believe, was unvoiced, or at least only partially voiced. I don't remember. And so the lines that Reina says when she's originally chasing him could be read, if it wasn't for the voice acting, as actually friendly. It's just that the voice actress is making them spooky, and the atmosphere is making them spooky because you're inside Taichi's head. Is his name Taichi? I'm gonna have to look this up, because if it's not because wasn't Taichi the guy from Cross Channel? Am I getting this confused just because I'm retarded? Keiichi. His name's Keiichi. Yeah, I was right. His name is Keiichi. Taichi is the guy from Cross Channel. God, been reading too much visual novels. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, Keiichi, I think when Reina was chasing him and being like, oh, Yashiro-sama's gonna come for you, but I can protect you. That was genuine. That wasn't Reina threatening him. That wasn't Reina threatening him. That was Reina genuinely scared, saying, because Reina believes in Oyashiro-sama, and she hallucinates him. So Reina genuinely thinks that Oyashiro-sama is going to target Keiichi. I look stupid for calling him Taichi now. But yeah, he's going to target Keiichi. And so she's like, I'm going to protect you. I think that's what actually happened. And only because Keiichi is delusional and nuts, and was sort of inspired by the detectives, like, putting thoughts in his head that everyone was going to kill him. You know, I think that Reina is actually on his side the whole time. I don't think she's an antagonist. I think Mion is going to be more of like a morally grey character. I think she's going to have like done some questionable things to like defend the dam construction or whatever. Like, I think we already know that she was in the police station multiple times and she threatens to kill the detective for telling Keiichi about it, right? So it's even possible that she was a part of the dismemberment that happened there. I know I can say that she is more of an antagonist than Reina, even though if you just take it at face value, you would think that Reina is the antagonist here. But I also think the other girls that aren't really in this arc are going to be more in this arc. Like in the next arcs, they're going to become more fleshed out because this was mostly focused on Reina and Mion. And I also think that Satoshi's story is going to become very relevant because the fact that he was... Okay, so I think the guy with the camera, was it Tanaka? Tana something. The camera guy, he's going to have some backstory revealed that, like, he did something. I don't know what he did. I have no clue. Satoshi's backstory is going to be very important. We're going to learn more about Satoshi and like his whole transformation into like the same sort of thing that happened to Keiichi. Kind of reminds me of Tsubahebe, but a little bit, but not. Well, yeah, a little bit. I don't know, man. Mysteries swirling around my head. That's my current theories, I guess. Do I have anything else theories? I have no way to understand how the other deaths in Inamizawa were connected. Like, there's obviously stuff about the dam construction project that would be an initial suspicion, but a lot of them were loosely connected or not connected. So it's like, there's no information about that. I can't even make any guesses about what happened there. As for like the whole village being in on it, I think the answer is going to be yes and no. I think that the answer is going to be like yes, the entire village is in on some sort of conspiracy, but it's not going to be like the same level as like they literally all come together and kill people. As for what actually caused them to claw out their throats, no idea. No fucking clue. I don't understand the final phone call at all. Is it something actually supernatural? I feel like it wouldn't be that weird to have some level of supernatural element, like to explain it all away with logic. Like to completely deny that would I don't know. I think it's possible they have some bit where it's like, yeah, well, this bit was unexplainable and done by Yashiro-sama or whatever. Oh, but like it wouldn't be that direct. It would be more like, you know, I don't know, something about like fate. You know, like fate. Like, oh, it's the fate of all who enter, and it's like, yeah, but is it actually fate, or is it just that people are so convinced that it's fate that they make it happen? It's gonna be that sort of thing, right? It's just my theories, just from reading the first book. You can't know much about what's gonna happen from just reading the first book, but that's what I think so far. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the onikakushi arc of the higurashi visual novel. I'll be back with the second book once I finish that one, and so on and so on, hopefully until I finish the whole series, and then I'll start with Umineko. Um, yeah, although I don't think I think that'll be enough for a while. I think I'll take a big break before I start Umineko. The only thing I'm worried about is that I'll give up halfway through and not finish it because it's so fucking long, and I won't. I'll be frustrated by not having any answers, and I'll just give up. Um, so that's why I'm making. So if I stop playing Higurashi, someone come to my house and hit me with a baseball bat or whatever. Anyway, yeah, GG, GG.